Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I'm going to show you an Ice Golem team that can be used for stage 20 or stage 24. Now, the reason you use either one of these two stages is for efficiency. Stage 20 is the most efficient use per energy for points and tournaments and such, and stage 24 is one of the best places to farm if you're going for legendary pieces relative to your energy. The energy requirement kicks up again once you're going to level 25 here, and that becomes a little bit less efficient than anything else when going. So 20, 24 are the ways you want to go. Now for this team, we're not going to change anything up between 20 and 24. We have Seer, we have Krisk, we have Kymar, we have Brogni, and we have Lydia. It is a pretty high power team. I did get the Brogni when it was in the guaranteed fusion. Lydia, of course, you farm. These guys both came from 10x's for me, fortunately, and the Seer just got lucky. So I'm going to show you this run first. You can see how it goes. It takes about a minute 15, I think, typically. And I'm going to call this like a 99.9% success rate. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like I've seen this team fail once. So it isn't perfect, but man, it's really close and it's really fast. Mostly there's a little bit of RNG come to the boss when you hit him too hard at the wrong kind of breakpoints, and it triggers his special ability. Let's just kind of watch this go for a second, and then we'll kind of get into the specifics afterwards. I'm going to show you the masteries, I'm going to show you the AI tuning, and I'm going to show you the gearing and stats for each of these champions. One thing you'll see is, like, outside of really bad RNG, it's a very safe team. Brogni can actually kind of solo the boss if it dies at the wrong time. And I haven't had this happen with this particular team, but in previous versions it has. Krisk has self-healing, and then if it does go really poorly, Lydia can still res your team when the boss tries to bring his ads up, depending on the timing. You'll see Lydia also helps speed this up greatly by stopping the first revive of the ads. Now you'll see here, we're basically done. If he'd, well, taking some extra turns there, but a minute 15 to get this done. The best time you'll see up there is with this team at 1 minute 10. Almost all the damage is done by Seer. Everybody else and just there kind of is a support to keep Seer alive and to boost her skills with their buffs. So let's go back to the champion list. Cut that out of our way here. We're going to look at recently used first. And this is the same stats I use for my other teams on this. So if you check out the other videos, we got a dragon and a spider guide. Seer's, of course, not on the spider. But we're basically just going for crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy. Accuracy doesn't matter on this team because they don't get buffs up. But for a general all-around Seer build here, just as much damage you can. I do have her in Savage, and I do take her down to get this flawless execution. It's a pretty standard Seer build here. Now let's go Brogni next. Brogni's stats don't need to be anything specific. This one is a relative mix of HP and damage. I have not actually tuned this Brogni in a very long time. You'll notice his crit rate is very high the last time I checked this, just as what stuck there. He could even use more accuracy for general use. I do like to have him a decent amount of speed just so he rotates through his turns fairly quickly. Nothing special on the sets. And he is going to be in Giant Slayer because the Reflect has a chance of doing extra damage procs. That doesn't matter so much for this. In fact, it's actually kind of dangerous, but still, that is how it is. Now we're going to look at her. We'll start with her masteries. We just go down here, War Master for extra boss damage. The rest of it doesn't matter a lot for this team in specific. Check out here. Now, she isn't in any specific sets, but I do have her to have a pretty decent amount of HP and defense, and a really strong amount of speed, and that's really about it. Again, accuracy over 250 in order to land those debuffs on the enemies. Krisk here, he's in a variety of teams for me, of course, so this is going to be, again, very general build. These stats aren't really hard to reach, and they're not really specific. A lot of defense, a decent amount of speed, some good damage just because I like him to do some damage, accuracy over 250 to land debuffs. His masteries, like almost everybody, I'm going down to the War Master. Not for him, Giant Slayer, but that's like everybody goes there if you're doing boss damage. Kymar again, we're going down to the War Master. The rest of the masteries aren't super important. And I just want this guy to be fast. I want him to have high accuracy when he needs to land his poison and his debuffs. And kind of an all-rounder. Again, these stats aren't real particular. You're not going to fail if you don't reach certain breakpoints, other than speed tuning just to make sure they go in order. So next I'm going to show you the tuning for the AIs on these teams, and that will give you kind of an idea of why the speeds matter just a little bit. It'll click in. Okay. So the order is kind of important. We need this Karma burn to get as many buffs up on our team as possible, because the enemy team's not going to get to go to get any buffs up on them. So Seer will go last, but we have Karma burn is going to happen. In the event there's some kind of an error, some kind of weak hit, I don't want her to have a chance to do it again, so it is turned off. It's again turned off. Then this, just do that first. I want that damage to come in. Krisk just needs to do that. Same thing here, just get going. It doesn't really matter what he's doing afterwards. And on the boss, we're fine. This, I don't want her Siren's Rail to have a chance to go twice in the same turn if it gets reset. So it is first and then off, first and then off, and then nothing worrying about here. This guy, I don't want him to use this on the first turn at all. Come the second turn, he's going to use it automatically. And then third turn, just kind of do whatever you feel like. Brogni, I just let his AoE, or let his AI be default here. He will do what I want him to do in a row, and he's not going to get through too many of these. For safety, you could turn this on first and then turn it off if you were worried about it, if you found that your team didn't kill through quick enough. But overall, shouldn't really be a problem. Now we're going to show this team go through 24. 24, I don't think I've seen it fail for me personally, but it does have a chance. The boss does hit a lot harder. It'll function through the waves. Should be exactly the same. It should go through, kill all the waves in a one-shot. She does this. Kymar is going to come here and reset everybody's abilities so that we get the debuffs and the buffs. We get the extra buffs. We get even more buffs. And then we slap down these ads. Now when we get here, the real danger for this particular boss is if his ability up here, which I believe is this one, Frigid Vengeance, happens at the wrong timing. He can slap the team, freeze them, and then if he takes a proc of damage or something during that, he could potentially do it twice in a row. Now we'll see we are in danger, but this is actually a perfect chance to show the strengths of this team. So we're probably going to kill the ads here. Ooh, we did not yet, but don't worry, we're working on it. Once the ads die and the boss attempts to resummon them again, Lydia is going to stop that resummon, and she is going to bring back Seer to make sure this damage goes. This isn't a specific like speed 2 team. It's not going to be incredibly fast on the 24. Not like the Dragon team I have, which is almost a minute for a 24 team. But this should be able to pretty consistently do it in under 2 minutes. Now you notice here's where she drops that. She brings him back. Now we still have a little bit of danger because these guys could proc his Frigid Vengeance before Brogni's shield comes back. If that happens, we might be in trouble. Shield is back. Okay, we should actually be fine now to finish out this boss. Back down again. I think we're going to be okay. This is actually one of the worst runs of this I've seen this team do, which is fortunate to give you kind of an idea of what the worst case scenario looks like. We'll see that shield come back. Unfortunately, he's going to get a chance to Frigid Vengeance again, probably. Oh, maybe not. He might have skipped it there. We'll see what he does in just a second. If Seer doesn't die, this team ends up taking about 1:30 seconds. But we'll see, even with repeated deaths, this team is tanky. These support champs are amazing, and they keep it through in just 2:15. Sorry, I thought it was a little bit faster. That 2:01 is the best time, actually. And that was with this team. I'm going to sell those boots. And that's really about it. It's pretty straightforward. Relies on Kymar to reset, Seer to do some damage. And then I went with tanky support, tanky buffers. You can probably switch these guys out. If you don't have a Lydia, it's going to take quite a bit longer when the ads have to be killed faster and won't be as safe with the revive. But we need buffs, debuffs, buffs, more buffs. Get that Seer damage out. Again, this has been an alternate image raid video. if you like these guides, particularly coming from a context of someone who doesn't have a whale account, I have not spent hundreds of dollars or more on this game, and I haven't been here since the beginning, so it's a very reasonable account to look at what you could get to reasonably, and I will end up showing more teams that aren't just my best speed team to show some more variety of what this could look like for you. So if you like that, like, subscribe, comment, what do you want to see next? We're already planning on doing pretty much every main area of the game in terms of dungeons and clan boss and so forth. And that's just about it. So as always, have a good day.